Hi guys, welcome me back to my channel. Hope you guys are all doing great. A very big thank you to you guys, to my subscribers. Thank you so much guys your support, for your support. I appreciate you again and again and again. Thank you guys so much. Without you, I wouldn't be here. Thank you so much. And if you're new, you're welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe as well, okay? And remember to turn your bell notification bells on so that anytime I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Today's tutorial is going to be an interesting one, yes. So I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful dress. So let's just, get into it. So here I have my fabric all folded already. So this is the piece of fabric I'm using, a chiffon fabric, okay, and it's very light. So I added interfacing to it. But here I have is the lining. I also added interfacing to the lining as well. Okay, so to give it structure. So here is the main fabric. I'm going to be marking on the lining part, okay, for more visibility. Getting started, I'll take note of my lines. First of all, um, from here, this is the starting point line, and I forgot to mention as well, it's going to be an off-shoulder dress. So let me cut these edges off. So from here, I'm making use of an off-shoulder of 4. Okay, so I'm placing my tape at 4 inches mark. So I'm going to start taking my lines. First of all, um, my chest line 9. The bust point is 10.5. The under bust is 14. The waist is 16. The hip line 24. Then the floor length. The length of the dress is 40. I added extra 2 inches allowance for folding allowance at the lower part, okay? At the lower part. So mark it out for 2. So I'll just convert all these lines to a straight line. So here we have this. I would like to label these lines. This is the chest line, the under bust, no, the bust point, the under bust, this is the waistline, and the hip line. Okay? Yeah. So first thing I'm going to do now is to place the off shoulder line measurement. I'm working with 5. For an average person, I usually use 5.5. For this person, I'll use 5. It's okay. You can use 4.5, you can use 5, you can use 5.5, depending on how big the person is. So 5 is okay for me here. I'll come to this line and input my bust measurement. And the bust measurement is 35 divided by 4, that's 8.75. So I'm going to take note of my bust measurement here. So all I'm going to do is to connect this line to the bust line here to give me an armhole curve. So from this point now, I will go inwards by 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. Take note of that point here. So coming down to this part, we're going to be inputting the bust span measurement. The bust span is the nipple to nipple, which is 7 divided by 2. That is what? 3.5. So I'll add half an inch to it, making 4. So I'll come to from my bust point line. I'm going to mark the 4 inches mark. But coming down to the under bust, I will take away half inch from here, which makes it 3.5. So I'll come to my under bust, I'll mark 3.5. Then on the waistline, I'll mark the same 3.5. On the hip line, the same thing, 3.5, all the way to the length of the breast 3.5. So I'll just convert all this to a straight line. Okay, so what we are trying to do now is to create our princess dart. So from this point now, I'll connect it to this armhole, this point we have on our armhole here. Okay, so coming down to this part now, we're going to create a cup. Okay, the breast cup. So I'll come down to this my under bust line. I will take 1.5 inches. So this one varies actually. Okay, for a more bustier person, say from a bust 36, 37, 38 to about 42, I can use 2. For a more bigger person, 2.5. For a very busty person, 3. Or when it's on the lower side, from 36 downwards to maybe 32 thereabout, you can use 1.5. Okay, so her bust is 35, so I'll be using 1.5 place. So I'll come to this line here, I'll take 1.5 on the under bust line. Then to the waistline, the same thing, I'll just take it straight down to the hip line and all the way to the floor length, 1.5. So I'll also get a straight line from the under bust to the waist, from the waist to the hip, from the hip to the floor length. Okay, so now that we have done this, the next thing now is to create the lower cup. This bust point line, I'm going down by 1 inch. So from this point now, this 1 inch lower, I'll just connect it to the under bust. It's a cup. So we have this for the lower cup. It has been created. Then I'll come to this same bust point line. I will also go upwards by 1 inch. Take note of that point. Okay, now remember what we have here was 1.5. If I take away half inch from that 1.5, that's 1. Whatever it is you have here, always take away half an inch from it, okay, to impute it on this armhole line. So here I have 1.5, I'll take away half inch, that means 1. So I'll come here to place my 1, but I'm going to distribute it into 2, okay? So which means that 1 will be splitted into 2, half this way, half the other way. So I'll come here and mark half an inch, and this other side I'll also mark half an inch. Okay, so what I will do now is to take every point now and connect it to this 1 inch that is above the bust point line. So from here you can see this from this same point. Okay, so all you need to do is to blend it properly. You can see the curve has been created. Okay, so on this line, because we usually, when you are sewing your darts, in order to avoid any form of fold, okay, any form of shortage on the armhole area, so we always increase here, say about 1.5 or 2 inches. So here, this line, I will just extend it to say 2 inches. Okay, we'll connect it when we have completed our measurement. So now, coming down to this chest line, we can now impute our measurement. Remember, we've already had our bust measurements here, so all I'll do is to add an extra allowance to it, say about 3 inches of allowance. Then remember, this space is going to go up. This 1 inch that we've created here is going to go up, so we need to impute it here as well. So I'll add that as well. So coming down to the under bust, the measurement is 32 If you divide it by 4, that's 8. Okay, I'll add an extra 3 inch to that. So remember this dart here, what we have is 1.5. I'll also impute it back 1.5 as well. Okay, I'll connect it straight down to the waistline. Okay, then to the hip line, the hip is 40 divided by 4, that's 10. I'll take note of that. Impute back this same dart here of 1.5 inch. I'll put it back here. Then also extra 3 inch. Okay, so that's it. So this is our new bust line. So from this point, I will just connect the armhole to it. Can you see this? So I'll also connect other lines from the bust line to the waistline and to the hip line, and all the way to the floor length. So the floor length, I'm also going to impute the same measurements for the hip. What I have for the hip, I'll put it 10, and I would add the extra allowances to it. So that's it, guys. We're done. So on this lower part, I want to probably I can actually leave it straight like this, but I think I should make it a little bit pencil. So I'll just go inwards by 1 inch. That's from this point. I'll just go inwards by 1 inch just to give it a little bit of pencil shape, or even 1.5 inch. So from the same hip line, I'll take it straight down. Okay, and so guys, that's it. What is left for us now is to cut our piece out. Remember, it's at the 4 inches mark, so the neckline are deep at 6 inches. So I'm taking it 6 inches deep. Okay, so I'm just doing this. So that's it for the neckline. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. So guys, we're done with the front piece. See the way it looks. So I'll set this aside and cut for the back piece. So for this back piece, it's quite straightforward. I've already marked out the lines as well. The chest line, the bust point, the underbust, the waist, the hip, and the length of the dress. So we have the zip allowance line here. So every marking should start from this zip allowance line. So from here, I want to take the shoulder line here we used 5 inches, so I'm marking out 5 here. Then on this bust point line, I marked out 8.5 8.75 8.75. I'll just create a curve. So from here, I'll take the neck depth of 7 inches for the back. So I'll just connect it this way. Okay, so just like we did for the front piece, we came down by 2.5 inch here. Take note of this point. Then we'll come down to pre-label this chest line. This is the bust point, the under bust, the waist, and the hip. Then to this under bust bust point line, we took the bust point measurements. Remember, we used 4, so marked 4 here. Then coming down to the other bust, we reduced it by 0.5 all the way to the floor length. So 0.5, 3.5, and we connected it all together. So from this bust point line, connect it to this 2.5-inch armhole line there, and this is the perfect armhole, but I just want to go up a bit, so I'm just moving up here by 0.5. Move up here by 0.5, okay, and I'll connect it here as well. So from here now, remember what we did to the front piece, I went up by 1.5 or 2 inches. So just go up by 2 inches. So I'll be connecting this now to the bust line, okay? Yeah, so from this here now, I'll take my bust measurement. We already have that 8.75, so I'll add extra 3 inches to it. So this 0.5 inches here, I'll place it back here, okay? So please, like I said, I could have still used this one as well, but I just went up by 0.5. I just went up by 0.5, okay? So all I'll do is to connect this now. So this is my armhole, okay? So coming down to the underbust as well, 32, that's 8, and add 3 inches of allowance, make it 3.5. Then take it straight down to the waistline. There's no dart here, so we don't need to add any extra inch, just like we did for the front piece. Then for the hip line, 10, added extra 3.5 inch. Then coming down to the floor, I also inputted the hip measurement here as well. So remember, for the front piece, we went inwards by 1.5 just to make it a pencil. So I'm also coming in back by 1.5 here. Okay, so I'll just connect all these lines together. So that's it, guys. We're done. All is left now is to cut. So before I forget, at the waistline, we want to create a curve at the waistline here to avoid any form of zip loop, okay? So I'll come down to this waistline. I'll go inwards by 0.5 inch. So from this waistline, I'll take it up to the chest line. And from this same waistline, I'll take it downwards. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off. So this is the way it looks. So all is left now is to go join this piece together, the lining and the main dress, and I'll come back to show you the next step, okay? And so guys, I'm done joining the parts together. I've used the lining to turn the dress, as you can see, and I've also fixed a zipper to this dress. This is the back side. So here is the front piece. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to fix the sleeve. But before that, I need to take note of the round neck measurement, okay? So from here, from this front piece, if I place my tape this way, I have about 14.5 for this. Then for the back piece, I have it's about 13.5, okay? So if I add that up together, so that's 28. Okay, so 28 now. So I need the round shoulder measurement, which is 39. So if I say 39 minus 28, what I have is 11. So 11 is going to give me for my sleeve. So because it's two sleeves, I will split that 11 into two, which is what? 5.5. So 5.5 for one sleeve, 5.5 for the other. So I have here a strip. It's 4 inches in length, in width rather, 4 inches in width. Then if I'm attaching this band to this place, I need to put an allowance to join it to this side of the sleeve on both sides. What I mean is this: when you place it this way, if you want to attach whatever kind of sleeve to it, this band, I need half an inch to sew it here, half an inch this side. Then remember, when we're taking this measurement, we didn't remove the allowance will also be, so I have to impute that extra allowance here as well. So at the end of the day, what I need is 2 inches of allowance. 2 inches of allowance splitted into 4, half an inch to join it both sides, half an inch to join on both sides at the back. So I hope you understand that. So I'm going to add it to that 5.5, which makes it 7.5. So here I'll just measure out 7.5. I would like to make it 8, just to be on the safe side. So here I have the allowance I'm working with, right? So for this, what I'm going to do is to fold it this way, then attach it like this. So it's going to give me my sleeve cover. So, but this is not just what I'll be doing. I actually want to impute a puff sleeve here. So I'm making use of this fabric, this satin fabric. Okay, this is a 1 yard of fabric, so I splitted it into two. So what I have now is 18 inches by 60 inches. Okay, and if you look at the lower part of this, I hemmed it to create my elastic casing. So here I'm going to be inserting elastic casing on the lower part of the sleeve, okay, which at the end of the day is going to form the gather. So I'll be putting the elastic cases at the round sleeve measurement, okay. Then for the upper part, which is this part, I'm going to also be pleating it into this band we've created. Okay, so I'm going to be pleating it in. I might need to reduce um the length, okay, so that if it's going to be too much, I'll have to reduce the length. So but all I do, I'm going to pleat this into this band here, okay. So when I'm done pleating it, then I'll be able to attach it here. So I'll first of all go finish that up. Then we need to create the armhole where we'll be inserting it into this main sleeve, okay. So let me just go finish this up and I'll come back to show you. And so guys, I'm done with the sleeve. Okay, so I changed my mind. I had to use the main fabric for the band instead of the initial plain fabric I used. Okay, so what I did, if you notice at this edge, if you notice, the gathers didn't start from this edge, so it started like 1.5 inch away, okay, because it's important to know that as well. When you're forming the gathers on a band, it's not be nice if the gather starts at the tip, okay. Yeah, so I left an inch to create a room, okay, which I'm also going to trim that off some excesses afterwards. Okay, so because of that, I had to increase the length of the what I initially calculated. That's the main band. Okay, so remember we just calculated what we are going to, so that was 7.5. So I had to add an extra 1 inch. I hope you understand that. Okay, so after sewing it the inside, I also cleaned the edges. Okay, I weaved it and cleaned the edges. Then after that, I top stitch towards the main fabric. You can see towards the main fabric, and you can probably barely see the lines of the top stitching, okay, just to make it relax properly. Okay, so that is it done. So what I'm going to do now, just like I said earlier on, is to create the armhole before sewing it up here. So this is how it's supposed to sit, right? So what I will do is to fold it into two, just like we have here. If you place it this way, like this, okay, so all I'll do is just a little bit of curve, okay, just to rhyme with the curve that we have here. That's just the essence. Just a little bit of curve on this side. Just a little bit of curve, okay, so that when we are sewing into it, it will be well relaxed. So you can see this. Okay, so once the stitch is done, then the other side I will also hem it down, straight down. Then remember this elastic casing, we'll be fixing this elastic to the round sleeve measurement. The round sleeve measurement is 12. So what I have here is 12. Okay, so after this is done, then I will insert the elastic to also, bring all the lower part together, okay, which will now give us that puffy effect. Okay, so that will be it, guys. So I'll just go finish that up, yeah. Then yeah, after that is done, I will take the measurement of the sides just to fit in the dress. I'll take the final measurement of the dress. So let me just go finish that up and I'll come back to show you, okay. And here, guys, this dress is ready. Look at the sleeve. I really love this puff effect, so lovely. This is beautiful. Our stylish party dress is ready. This is so beautiful. So guys, that brings us to the end of today's tutorial, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please go ahead and like it, share. I'll appreciate your comments as well. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, okay. And thank you so much again, and see you on the next video. Have a beautiful day.